Begin recording at 9:58.
Recording in progress.
Good morning, Cindy. Are you there?
I'm here, Vice Chair. Is
Can you hear
Gideon
us?
Krakow there?
Mr. Krakow just walked in and Mr. Nasri is to my right.
Perfect. We'll have a quorum. Thank you. Should we start the housekeeping?
It says something here about we'll need the seventh location to log on and accept panelists.
That's okay.
You can, yes, start with the housekeeping, please.
Thank you for participating in today's meeting. Please do not connect to Zoom or teleconference while in the room, and please silence all devices. Click on the globe at the bottom of your screen to select either English or Spanish. Public comment will be taken after each item. If you are in the auditorium and wish to comment, please use the iPads located in the lobby. For meetings in other locations, please complete a blue speaker card and provide it to a South Coast AQMD employee. Speakers may be limited to a total of 3 minutes or less for all agenda items, and times may be shortened to ensure all speakers can be heard. A countdown timer will be displayed on the screen for each public comment. Word time will be allotted for Spanish translation that is not simultaneous. For questions or issues on public comment, please call the public advisor at 909-396-3247. That's 909-396-3247. Please adhere to the speaker time limit and treat others with courtesy, civility, and respect. Failure to do so can result in your mic being muted or you being removed from the meeting. Be aware that this meeting is being recorded. By participating, you are authorizing recording of audio and visual content presented during the live event and consent to subsequent use of the recording in the public domain by South Coast AQMD.
What's the Wi-Fi?
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the hybrid administrative committee meeting. It's Friday, June 14th, 10 a.m. Welcome to all our committee members, staff, panelists, public. Cindy, you want to take the roll, please?
Okay, Board Member Krakow,
Here.
Supervisor Perez. Supervisor, we see your location on, but your camera's off. Not sure if you are there. Absent for now. Chair Delgado, absent. Vice Chair Cacchiotti.
Here?
Without Supervisor Perez, we do not have a quorum.
Okay, can we go ahead with just general matters till we get to something we've got to vote on? Or would you suggest we wait?
Yeah, we can go through the non-action items.
Okay. Well, again, welcome everyone. We'll call this meeting to order officially, and item number 1 are board member comments. No motion required in this. Board Member Krakow, any comments?
None at this time.
I have none myself. Is there any public comment here at the auditorium?
No public comment here.
Is that Susan?
Yes,
Okay, Susan. Thank you. Wayne, recognize your voice. Let's see.
and Supervisor Perez just joined.
Supervisor Perez, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Thank you, Supervisor.
Yep.
Did you have any comments on item number 1?
No, just selling it.
Okay, good. No comments here. We'll move to item number 2, Chair's report of approved travel. You have just Mr. Krakow to Las Vegas. Nothing on that. Any comments, anyone? Seeing none. Any public comment on item number 2?
No public
Susan?
comment here.
None here. Move to item number 3, report of approved out-of-country travel. I didn't see any way.
No, out of country travel.
Okay. Susan, anybody there to testify?
No.
Okay, none here either. We'll move to item number 4. Review the August 2nd, 2024 Governing Board Agenda. Mr. Nastri.
Thanks, Vice Chair. As you recall, July were dark, so August is our next board meeting. We have a set public hearing for September 6th. That'll be the Coachella Valley Stream Area Plan for the 2008 8-hour ozone standard. And we'll also be set hearing for proposed Rule 1165, which is our control of emissions from municipal solid waste incinerators. For public hearing, we will have our proposed amended Rule 1148.1, the oil and gas production law. We'll also have proposed Rule 2306, which is our rail ISR. And I will also be determining the proposed Rule 316.2 for fees for Rule 2306. And then finally, we also have 2023 annual report on the AB 2588 program and updates to the AB 2588 and Rule 1402 supplemental guidelines. And that concludes my comments.
And we're gonna do all of them twice. Sorry, we have an echo here in the room. It's just a bad joke. Can I ask a question on that one?
Please.
On the
We lost your audio.
Board Member Krakow asked if the oil and gas was going to go back to committee before the board meeting.
No, it wasn't planned to.
That's correct.
Supervisor, do you have any questions regarding the agenda for August?
No, just should it actually go back to committee? I don't know if it's something that needs to go back to committee, but
I just asked, just, I don't have an opinion one way or the other.
is anyone from the committee actually asking for it?
If you can't hear me, maybe you can tell me what I was saying, Mike.
Giddy-
I was just asking.
Gideon was just asking a question outright. It had no purpose really, just questioning. I'm not sure why.
All right.
Yeah, tell me, I wasn't expressing an opinion on whether it should.
Gideon had no opinion whether it should go to the committee or not.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Any public comments, Susan?
No public comments here or online.
None here. Thank you. Item 5 is approval of compensation for board member assistants, consultants. And a motion is required because I see several names there. Board members, any comments?
Can you review this really quick once more, staff?
So this is the compensation for the board assistant, board consultant. And we need the chair of the committee to make a motion and the board to vote on it.
Supervisors, I think there's some for Councilmember Salate, for Supervisor Hagman, and one for myself.
Okay, no, that's fine. I was just wondering, overall, I sent an email this morning to Cindy, just overall, the compensation for consultants and what's that formula look like? So anyways, that can be taken care of internally.
Yeah, Supervisor, I'm getting that information sent to you. It's the actual formula that you wanted and the direct allocation.
That's fine.
We have a form that says the total amount for you as a board member, but some board members allocate those funds amongst different board members. So I wanted you to get the formula that you asked for. But we have the total number.
Okay,
And it'll be up to you to how you allocate it.
got it. Thank you.
Thanks.
Susan, any public comment there?
No public comment.
None here. So I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move.
Moved by
Second.
Krakoff, second by Supervisor Perez. Roll call, please, Cindy.
Board Member Krakoff,
Yes.
Supervisor Perez,
Yes,
Chair Delgado absent, Vice Chair Caccioti.
Yes,
Motion passes 3 with 1 absent.
thanks, Cindy. We'll move to item number 6 on our agenda, pre-audit conference. Presenter looks like a Brandon Young, engagement partner. Brandon, go ahead, or Sujata, do you want to introduce it?
Yes, thank you. Good morning, Vice Chair Caccioti and members of the committee. Sujata Jain, Chief Financial Officer. Today we have an entrance conference with Brandon Young, engagement partner with the audit firm of Lansall Lungard. And I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Young for a short discussion on the timeline of the audit and the process for the fiscal year 23-24 financial audit. Brandon?
Thanks, Sujata. Hopefully you all can hear me okay. So my name is Brandon Young. As Sujata mentioned, I'm the audit partner for the district. This will be our second year performing the audit for the district. Last year was a little bit unorthodox, as you probably are aware. We were added on late, and the timeline was nothing that we would typically be accustomed to having it look. So this year our goal is to really get back on track and get on a more regular timeline with the district. So we're currently scheduled to first perform our interim field work, which we do separately the week of July 8th. The focus there being getting an understanding of district processes and controls, how they process cash disbursements, cash receipts, tracking grant activity, capital asset activity, and using that information really to perform a risk assessment during the summer, which we would then design our audit procedures for our year-end audit. Our year-end audit is currently slated to be performed the weeks of September 2nd and September 9th. We blocked off 2 weeks for this to perform the district audit and financial statements as well as the single audit at the same time. So this is a time where we perform our test of details, confirm bank accounts, test capital asset additions, any grant activity, do analytical procedures on revenue and expenditures, and then work with the district staff to perform to review the AQFR and get it in a final state. The single audit is the compliance portion of the audit, where the federal funding that you received is tested each year to ensure that it's being used for what the federal program is designed for. So these will both be performed over this 2-week period with the goal of, and Sujata, correct me if I'm wrong, bringing the report, I believe, at the November admin committee meeting and having it done by the end of October, which would get us more back on a regular audit schedule. So that's our audit game plan for the year. So we are kind of finishing up. We finished up 23. We're just jumping right into 24, hopefully to kind of get back on a regular timeline. So if you have any specific concerns or questions about that or the process, I'm happy to address them now.
Committee members, any questions? Supervisor?
none.
Gideon? I have none. Sujata or Susan, any members of the public there want to comment?
No members of the public.
We have none here either. Sujata, anything else?
No, Vice Chair.
Thank you, Brandon. Look forward to seeing you out there.
Thanks, everyone.
We'll move on to item number 7, audit reports for AB 2766, fee revenue recipients. Fiscal years June 30th, 2020 through 2021 and 2021. There's no motion required here, but Sujata, you want to have a presentation?
Yes, Vice Chair. I'll just go through this item. So this item is to transmit the results of the AB 2766 biannual audit for fiscal year 1920 and 2021. That was conducted by the audit firm of Simpson CPAs. 162 entities were subject to this audit, and also this includes the audit for AQMD and MSRC for the portion of the AB 2766 money received. There was no finding for the AQMD and the MSRC portion of the audit. However, there were 34 findings on 22 entities, of which 8 were monetary findings. All findings have been resolved except for one city that has an unresolved finding. We are working with the city to replace and to pay back those funds with interest. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Supervisor, Mr. Crack, have any questions?
No.
Nope, none from Gideon. Supervisor, I don't see your hand. None here. Susan, any public there to testify?
No.
None here either. Okay, no motion required. We'll move on. Thank you, Sujata.
Thank you.
We'll move on to item number 8, update on South Coast AQMD diversity, equity, and inclusion. Dr. Sessa Hurd Johnson. Dr. Sessa, great to see you with the interns the other day.
Thank you so much. And they've actually joined us also here today as the last part of their onboarding. So thank you.
The interns are there in the auditorium?
Yes, sir.
Did they enjoy the Pasadena City College leaf blower demonstration?
You know, I didn't ask them specifically, but we did just do a Kahoot game in which you were figured prominently, sir.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you so much again for allowing me the opportunity to give updates on our diversity, equity, inclusion updates, as it is also Friday, and to honor the intersections of both Asian Pacific Islander Month and Memorial Day in May. We want to uplift Maya Lin. She is a renowned artist and architect. She, at 21 years of age, was an undergraduate at Yale University. She was selected to design the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. She's a recipient of the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the National Medal of the Arts, and the American Institute of the Gold Medal. We thought it just very reminiscent to highlight her as there is a continuation of the uplifting of arts and an increasing inclusion in STEM programs. So this is Maya Lin for our Fabulous Female Friday. Next slide, please. We also want to recognize that board member Gideon Krakoff was our featured speaker for our South Coast AQMD Earth Day commemoration. We had 91 virtual attendees and 52 people in person. One of the comments that was shared by employees, more than one, that talked, I want to quote, "It was powerful to hear governing board member Krakoff speak about Tikkun Olam, which is Hebrew for healing the world. He was right that this concept plays into the vital work we do as an agency to keep the air clean for the people that we serve." And we heard that reminisce through several of our different comments. So thank you again for board member Krakoff to participate in that capacity. Next slide. Here are copies, or a couple pictures of our displays that were in the lobby for the month of April. This is for Earth Day. There were different handouts and giveaways. We actually gave out little starter succulents to employees. These were some of the ideas started by some of our staff here within the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion with CAP team. Next slide. Here are also the Jedi displays for the month of May for Asian Pacific Islander Heritage Month, and also again to commemorate Memorial Day. Again, our staff are giving us feedback that this really is a great incentive when they come back into the office to see these different displays in our lobby. Next slide. Here are also a couple infographics that we used for the month of May. As you all are aware, there are so increasing conflicts throughout the world, and a lot of incidents of hate incidents and hate speeches. And so we thought it was important to do a reissue of some information and infographic that we sent out earlier this year about the history of hate speech. We also elevated in April the Day of Silence, which is to commemorate the acts of transgender violence. Next slide, please. Several of my diversity, equity, inclusion staff and I will be able to participate in the part of the Orange County Health Authority. They did a groundswell DEI conference, Navigating Forward in DEI. They shared with us data from Orange County. In particular, what we thought was very significant and saddening is that over the last 5 years, hate crimes have increased by 75% and risen by 142%. And so the key takeaways that we took from that conference is that even in regions where DEI continues to face backlash, different companies and organizations are doubling down because they feel the importance that DEI provides a safe space for everyone to thrive. Next slide. We have our employee resource groups updates. So we had several different meetings. We actually had some in-person meetings with our Persian employee resource group in the month of April. They celebrated the Sadar Badar in Sycamore Park. And they're looking to do more in-person community service-oriented events. In May, our members of our Veterans and Active Duty Military Family ERG shared their appreciation for South Coast AQMD support of veterans employees, noting that the efforts that are done in our agency exceed the Uniformed Services Employment and Reemployment Rights Act requirements. So we're doing more, and our staff recognized how that makes them feel, again, providing a safer place for our employees. Next slide. We had our C3PO, which was our Critical Community Conversations for Purposeful Outreach. Our CERP team and core team invited members of our community steering communities to meet with them and talk a little bit more in detail. We worked with some of our consistently nominated communities, and we did some individual CERP implementation workshops and some different outreach and engagement workshops. And it was really good, and the staff were able to discuss team goals and objectives for the future year for community outreach and CERP implementation. Next slide. Our C3PO update for the month of May, we actually invited several of our community steering community members to participate in an AB 617 DEI with CAP agency-wide workshop. And so we had a CSE panel discussion where, and you can see the picture there, they were urging our districts to remain involved and accessible beyond the 5-year AB 617 program implementation. They really kind of gave us accolades on how we balance the community-friendly communication with navigating complicated regulatory processes and those kind of technical details. They praised us for really seeing that effort being made. They, again, asked us to continue being transparent and engaged and fostering that environment. So it was really good for our team to participate in this way as we began our strategic planning for next year for DEI with community air programs. Next slide. The YLAC group, our Young Leaders Advisory Council, we had our meeting on Wednesday, May 15th. We showed them the video, Segregated by Design, which is the history of redlining in the United States by Richard Rothstein. We had, I think it was, 8 people in person and 5 remote. We gave them an overview of our AB 617 program, and they again continue to be invigorated, excited. They want a chance to learn more about the nuances of our programs. So they've invited, I think, the Monitoring and Analysis Division to come and do a demonstration for our next meeting. Will be taking place in August. They also plan on participating in our all CSC meeting scheduled for August 24th here at headquarters, because they want to be able to see what we're doing to address air pollution in those disproportionately impacted communities. So they very excited group, very engaged, and will hold our feet to the fire. So they're doing exactly what we need of them. Next slide. Our statewide DEI updates, we are still working with our statewide colleagues on a diversity, equity, inclusion survey to gauge the effectiveness of our EJ and DEI projects. We're also working with CAPCOA as well on a DEI and EJ working group. And there continue again to be concerns across agencies for the funding stability regarding AB 617 and other DEI and EJ related programs. Next slide. Any questions?
Well done, Dr. Sessa Hurd Johnson. Supervisor or Mr. Krakow, any questions or comments for Dr. Sessa? Gideon shaking his head no.
Good stuff. I'm just happy to see the volume and focus of the work taken care of.
Can you hear Gideon? He says he's very happy with the work as always. Supervisor, any comments or you're okay?
Thank you.
Thanks, Supervisor. Great job again, Sessa. Always impressed. Thank you so much. Susan, any public comments?
No public comments here or online.
I see none here. Well, and thank you very much. We move to item number 9, status report, major ongoing upcoming projects for information management. Ron Moskowitz. Ron, go ahead, please.
Good morning, Vice Chair, members of the committee. Ron Moskowitz, Deputy Executive Officer or Information Management and Chief Information Officer. We're pleased to report the successful deployment of a new enhancement to our AB 2766 motor vehicle subvention program reporting portal. Among the new features, a functionality was added to allow staff to reverse the status of certain reports that were accidentally completed or needed to be revised. A reporting grouping feature was implemented to improve efficiency for the team during the evaluation process. And finally, 4 new reports were also created for staff. These enhancements will greatly reduce time and effort for the team during the reporting evaluation and analysis. We also did a lot of upgrades and maintenance to our servers and our power systems. And of course, we went out and helped with the retreat by providing the audio and video and all the technology in the month of May. Everything else is on schedule, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Board Member Krakow, any questions? She says no. Supervisor? Manny says no. Susan, any public comment there?
No comments here or online.
No comments here either. Thank you, Ron. We'll move on to item number 10. These are action items. 10 is to execute contract to determine brake and tire wear exposure concentrations in South Coast Air Base and Coachella Valley. This is exciting news. I want to hear about this. Is it Scott Epstein?
Good morning. Yes, it is very exciting. I agree. So as you probably know, planning for our MATE 6 study is currently underway. And this will be a monitoring and measurement campaign to evaluate the risk due to air toxics all throughout the region. So one of the main focus areas is looking at PM emissions from brake and tire wear, which are becoming a larger and larger fraction of the total PM that's emitted by vehicles. So the board approved funding for MATE 6 with $850,000 designated to funding a contract to study the contribution of brake and tire wear towards PM. So we issued an RFP for this contract on February 2nd. We received 4 very strong proposals. One was from UCR with Georgia Institute of Technology as a subcontractor. We also got a proposal from Aerodyne Research in Massachusetts, a proposal from UCLA, and then a proposal from Emission Analytics with UCI and USC as subcontractors. So we gathered together a review panel of experts that involves staff from Planning, Technology Advancement Office, and Monitoring Analysis Division, and one staff member from CARB who works in this area. The review panel of 4 people determined that the proposal from Emission Analytics with UCI and USC as subcontractors was the strongest. There's several reasons. So one, it's a really collaborative approach with us that will complement the MATE 6 study really well. They have a lot of experience in air quality measurements and analysis. They have a work plan that includes determining PM10 contribution from brake wear, tire wear, and also road dust. They plan on doing extensive sample collection at all 10 of our MATE sites for a year. And they have a modeling approach that will help deliver brake and tire wear concentration surfaces along with emissions that we can use for subsequent modeling. So the recommended action is to authorize our executive officer to execute a contract with Emission Analytics with these subcontractors to conduct the brake and tire wear study in an amount that doesn't exceed $850,000 from the general fund. That's all I had, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Committee members, any questions for Scott?
Just very quickly, Mr. Chair and colleagues. Obviously, as a member of the Coachella Valley, we appreciate the effort. I think this is something that we need to highlight, bring forward with leadership out here in the Coachella Valley, as well as with the grassroots folks, so that they understand what we're doing on this front, especially because there's a lot of questions and concerns specific to not only maybe this issue, but the issue of dust in the air and how to mitigate that. Obviously, it's all important, the fact that we're moving in this direction. But I will ask, I think after hearing, whenever we have that meeting in the future with leadership here in the Coachella Valley, that we start thinking about what type of study or effort can we do, as well as we're seeing here when it comes to concerns around natural disasters and specifically the dust storms that happen in the area. So all that is to say is that I support this, obviously. I think we should put this in, message this in a way in which people know that we're doing something, but at the same time, be willing to hear them out as to what else, other concerns they may have.
Thanks, Supervisor. Keating, do you want to make any comments? This is exciting to me because I've always, as I had first Priuses that started the first regenerative braking systems in the embryonic stages, and now with electric cars, I'm just curious how much brake dust, the brake pollution, the different metals and stuff like that does contribute to our PM and other pollutants, because it's a big issue. And maybe with some of these electric cars, if we transition to new technologies, there's less wear and tear on our brakes, less pollution. So interesting to find out. And actually, I'll be mentioning at the next board meeting, I've got my original Prius. I've always told you guys, unfortunately, hear about it all the time. But something happened on my brakes for the first time in 180,000 miles. We'll expose to you at the next meeting. The first time I had to do something with the brakes, 180,000 miles. So that's why I'm really interested about this brake study and how it, that relates to pollution, et cetera. I'll entertain a motion to approve this item.
So move. Second.
Moved by Board Member Krakoff, second by Supervisor Perez. Roll call, please, Cindy.
Board Member Krakoff,
Yes.
Supervisor Perez,
Yes.
Chair Delgado, absent. Vice Chair Cacciodi,
Yes.
motion passes 3 with 1 absent.
Thank you, Cindy. Move to item number 11, appropriate funds for undesignated fund balance for permitting. Apologize for a second. Was there any public comment? Did I ask for public comment on that item?
No,
Susan?
there's none online and none in person here.
Thanks, Bay, and none here. Thank you. Item number 11, appropriate funds from undesignated, unassigned fund balance for permitting enhancement program. So Julian Wong?
Yes,
Dr.
good
Wong?
morning.
Good morning.
So as part of Chair Delgado's Permitting Enhancement Program initiative, We have used consultants and retirees to supplement staff's efforts at reducing the permit inventory. Last year, the board approved $400,000 to be used for retiree assistance. However, due to retiree contract limitations and availability, we will have a little over $100,000 of unspent funds. Therefore, this item is asking for the $100,000 of unspent funds plus an additional $200,000 to be appropriated from the undesignated fund balance into ENP's fiscal year 24-25 budget to be used for either consultant or retiree assistance. And I'm available for any questions.
Board Member Krakoff, Supervisor Perez, any questions?
So does this mean that the funding is being moved? I'm just trying to understand this from efforts regarding permitting process to, I guess what, retiree assistance? Is that what's going on here?
So retiree assistance is from retirees from engineering and permitting who have come back to help. The money is going to be moved out of the undesignated fund balance and put into our budget so that we can then pay those retirees for their time in assisting us.
And assisting us in working through the permitting enhancement program.
Correct. And part of it is definitely helping us with review of permit applications and training staff, anything to help us get that permit inventory down.
That's good to hear. And I think we need to do more if possible moving forward, not only through AQMD, but obviously, honestly, the county of Riverside, state of California. You know, one thing that I've been taking a look at recently is how the permitting process is not only just stagnating economic development in areas throughout the state of California, but really impacting folks of color, really impacting the underserved areas to the point that, you know, people are not moving into the middle class as a result of this. So anything that we can do to enhance, to expand, to be more flexible, to advance the work regarding permitting, I'm all for it, because obviously at the end of the day, we're the ones that are being impacted. So I support this. I make the motion.
Is there a second?
Yes.
Moved by Supervisor Perez for approval, seconded by Board Member Krakoff. Roll call, please, Cindy.
Board Member Krakoff,
Yes.
Supervisor Perez,
Yep. Yes.
Chair Delgado absent, Vice Chair Cacciodi.
Yes.
Motion passes 3 with 1 absent.
Was there any public comment, Bay?
Not in the auditorium, and I don't see any online.
None here either. Okay, other item, written reports. It appears there's none written reports. Item number 12 is other matters, other business. Committee members, any other business?
Not this time.
Not a Mr. Krakoff, Supervisor?
Just very quickly,
Yes.
Back here, we're looking forward to the conversation. Wayne, I'm sure you already have heard from Tom and maybe even from others regarding a briefing, a discussion between AQMD and the Coachella Valley leadership. So people are eager to hear where we are as AQMD and what we're studying and analysis. And at the same time, trying to figure out how we can support and partner and work on efforts to clean the air out here. So hopefully we can get that in the books sooner than later.
Yeah, thank you, Supervisor. We are working with FEVAG, involved exchange of emails with Tom Kirk. We're committed to going back and meeting with the group, explaining it is what we're doing. In the meantime, I think you know that we've expanded some of our monitoring out there. We're also looking at some satellite data, and we're going to have to continue to work with other groups because this is much more than just the AQMD that's involved. So we'll be working very closely with you. In fact, this morning I authorized some information, a brief backgrounder, if you will, that'll be sent to you hopefully this morning.
Oh, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor. Susan Bay, any members of the public to testify in this item?
No.
Not here either. We'll move to finally, item 13, public comment. Are there any members of the public at the auditorium or online to testify?
Seeing no hands and seeing nobody in person here.
Okay, and here we have Supervisor Perez, anybody there? None, and none here at 617 West 7th Street. We'll move to last item, number 14, next meeting date, Friday, August 9th.
Dark in July.
Dark in July. Okay, perfect. I think that's it. Adjournment. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll be down here at the Coalition for Clean Air Awards at the Sheraton Hotel. Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you, everyone.